The following presentation is an analysis and reflection of my strengths as well as how I can apply them to my career as a teacher. After completing the Clifton StrengthsFinder online survey, I found that my top 5 strengths were learner, achiever, futuristic, intellection, and harmony. In reflecting on these strengths, I would agree that each of these 5 fit me perfectly. I also agree with the order in which I had received these 5 strengths. I'm a learner. I'm passionate about learning. I'm an achiever. I always try to achieve and I work so hard and try to do my best. I'm futuristic, constantly thinking about what's next. Intellection is one of my strengths. I think about thinking. I like to have intellectual debates and ideas, free-flowing ideas. And lastly, harmony is important to me. I don't enjoy conflict and I prefer peace. There are some educational philosophers that I have been studying recently that intersect with some of my strengths. The first is Plato, and he's quoted in the Republic as saying, "I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing." I can relate to this idea, and I believe that is why I have the first top strength as learner. It's because I know there's a lot in this world that I don't understand and I don't know, and that is what makes me wise and makes me a learner, and also feeds on my strength of intellection. It's why I think about things and want to understand things. The other philosopher that my strengths intersect with is Aristotle. He's quoted in the Metaphysics as saying, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." This plays off again on my strength of learner. It's because I am able to take things in but not hold them as truths and just learn and decide whether I do believe them or not. And this also plays off my strength of intellect in the sense that I will think about it thoroughly before I accept it. My strengths play into the formation of my educational philosophy because my educational philosophy is rooted in these strengths. Whether it's learner or achiever or harmony, my ideas of education as being so important to mankind is really rooted in those specific strengths that I have. I believe that education is freedom and that it's a right that everyone should have, especially as a special education teacher. That's why it's so important to me. In reflecting and discussing my strengths with 5 friends and family, each person that I spoke to said that these strengths describe me perfectly. My parents, my mom and my dad shown in this picture, especially found my top 2 strengths of learner and achiever to be true. That meant a lot to me because I care about what they say, but also because I've seen my strengths within them, and I believe those are some strengths that from them that I have inherited. In considering how I can apply my strengths to my role as a teacher, it really just is impacting every aspect of my role as a teacher, whether that's planning instruction or assessment or classroom management. I can see how each strength would play a role. For example, planning instruction, I would specifically use my strength of learner to learn from others of how to plan instruction. Also, I'd be considering through intellection of in what way can I best provide this instruction to my students so that it can meet their needs. In terms of assessment, the goal of assessment in my educational philosophy goes on the strength of learner because it's not just to give the students a grade, but it's to really assess what they're learning, but how my instruction may be lacking or how I may be thriving in certain areas. And then lastly, I see the strength of harmony in classroom management in terms of wanting that harmony in my classroom and wanting there to be peace within my classroom. And the last strength of futuristic, that really just plays a role in my role as a teacher because I have to understand that I impact my students' future and I play a role in who they will become. And I think that's probably one of the top strengths that motivates me as a teacher. Overall, I found this process fascinating to find my strengths and reflect on past philosophers as well as my developing philosophy on education. Thank you for taking the time to listen.